Welcome back to Morning Express. It's time for us to look at your money. Now, on your money, we've been doing a series of your job, so to speak, and we started with how to do your CV. After you've done your CV and finally you get that interview, what are the do's and don'ts to ensure that you get that interview, and after you get the interview, you get the job. Now, let's assume you've got the job and, well, you've gone through the probation period and here you are now thinking that, okay, I am still not satisfied. I need to go up the career scale. There are certain achievements that I want to do within the company, or maybe even to develop, but not within the company, but we'll look for a different company, but go up the job scale. How do you do that? That's the conversation we'd like to have. Remember, you're welcome to participate. You can do that via Twitter. We'll also be opening up the phone lines in case you have any questions. Maybe you're frustrated where you are at your job place and you're wondering, what am I doing wrong? Why is it that I'm not getting that job increase or that pay rise or just that uplift, speaking of your job? And you're welcome to participate via Twitter. The Twitter handles are going to be displayed on your screen. I'd also like to acknowledge somebody who is known as James here, who says he's watching all the way from Guangzhou in China. And thank you for joining us. Well, joining me on the set this morning is Japheth Musau, who is a management expert, and great to have you.
Thank you.
And well, this is obviously something that many of us go through. The minute you've got the job now, finally you get in and you settle in. Initially there's that excitement that, you know, I've got the job and here I am. And then within a very short time you realize that, wait, fine, I have the job, but I'm not satisfied. I want to go up. Where does one begin?
Yeah, you just described it very well. Usually you come, you join the workplace, and there's a 6-month or so holiday that suddenly comes to an end. Mm-hmm. And now holiday is over, you have to deliver, probation is over. And then, like you say, you start thinking seriously about what you want from your career, mm-hmm. how you could progress. And that's something that all of us go through. Mm-hmm. And it's good to understand that there are 4 types of employees.
Okay.
And which type you are will determine whether you progress, how you progress, whether you stay in the workplace or you get out. Mm-hmm. And therefore, it's good to understand these 4 types of employees. Mm-hmm. And this is from a study that was done by a German general and military strategist. Mm-hmm. He was one of the best generals that Hitler had. But they say that he was not a Nazi, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm sure that's debatable. The fact that he was working for Hitler would probably leave one wondering. But again, what we're focusing here is what he came up with.
Yes, mm-hmm. Very intelligent military strategist. Mm-hmm. And he profiled his officers. And what he discovered is that you could divide these people into 4 groups. Mm-hmm. And you start by primarily dividing them into 2 broad groups based on whether they are intelligent or not so intelligent.
Okay.
You can have those 2 broad groups.
Okay, so mainly we have the intelligent and the not so intelligent.
Yes, politically correct.
But now, before we progress from there, because we're dividing them, and of course, what I'd want us to do at the end of the day is for everybody to go home knowing this is probably the group I belong to. When we're talking about intelligence here, what are we talking about? Because one may measure intelligence differently, and normally, many of us would probably want to measure it academically speaking. Is that what we're talking about?
You see, there are very many intelligences. As human beings, we are very diverse.
Absolutely.
So it depends on the workplace. What kind of workplace is it? Every kind of career has its own intelligence. If you're an engineer, you need a different kind of intelligence. If you're a media personality, you need a different kind of intelligence. Mm-hmm. If you're a finance person, the intelligence that you need is different. Mm-hmm. Therefore, it depends on the context and the environment.
So the intelligence we're talking about here is not academic per se, but it is the ability to be good at your craft, whatever it is.
Whatever your craft is.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
The way to tell is, do you grasp the concepts easily? Mm-hmm. Or does it take you long? So if you grasp them easily, that means you're intelligent. If you can innovate, you're intelligent in that area. Mm-hmm. If you can create something, mm-hmm. create some value, then you can say you're intelligent.
Okay. So in every organization, we're looking at 2 main categories first.
Exactly.
And this is the intelligent, those who are able to grasp the
concepts,
their art and concepts.
Yes.
And there are those who possibly are struggling.
Exactly.
What would cause the struggling ones to be struggling? Is it because maybe they're in the wrong career?
Possibly they're in the wrong career, possibly with the wrong kind of people, the wrong kind of team, and therefore it's to actively look for that place where your intelligence can be manifested.
Okay. All right, so we've divided them into two. What happens after that?
And then when you go into these two camps, again, you find that you can further divide them into the active ones and the lazy ones.
Okay.
So you have intelligent, lazy, intelligent, active.
Okay.
And
Intelligent, active, and intelligent, lazy. Then I'm guessing there is non-intelligent, active.
And lazy.
Okay, so they also have their own categories.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how you end up with the 4 groups. First, you have the lazy, not so intelligent. These ones are usually the worker drones. They are people that simply need good leadership, and they are very useful in the workplace. They just need a procedure manual, good instruction, good leadership, and they get the job done. And they're not very ambitious. So in terms of what we are talking today, these are people that will be comfortable to stay at the entry level.
Okay.
They're not particularly ambitious. They tend to get stuck at the entry level or very little progress.
And what would cause somebody not to be ambitious, given that we all would desire a better pay, would desire a nice title? You know, you'd like to have on your card, it's written, you know, something that people will look at and say, wow, I'm sure everybody would draw some satisfaction out of that. So what would make them happy to remain dormant?
Well, you would imagine that everyone would be ambitious, but some things cannot really be explained. You find that there are some people that are wired that way. They're just comfortable to wing it, comfortable to just make it by, and that's who they are.
Okay.
And like we were saying, they are useful in the workplace. They are the worker drones. They are the hewers of wood, the drawers of water. You just need to give them good instructions and they get it done.
Okay. For them, they're good to be given instructions and get the job done. But they're not
Perfectly.
looking at what else can I do.
Exactly.
Okay.
So these are the lazy, not so intelligent.
Okay.
Then you have the active, intelligent ones. These make excellent managers. They are taskmasters. They not only understand what needs to be done, but they understand why. So they particularly make very good managers. They are taskmasters. They will ensure that every detail is taken care of. So these are the active, intelligent ones.
Okay.
Then you have the third category. They are not so intelligent and they are very active. Now these are very dangerous in a workplace.
Even just the description sounds dangerous.
Because
Okay.
what happens is they create a lot of unnecessary work for the rest of the team. They are not so intelligent, and as they go about their pace of what they're doing, they're just a menace in the workplace, and these will quickly find themselves out of the job. Because what they do is, because of the errors they commit and so forth, there has to be rework, and of course, you know, there are costs attached to that.
Absolutely.
So that's the active.
So those ones would probably, the manager would probably find that over a period of time, you'd rather do away with them.
Rather do away with them.
Okay.
Again, like we said in the beginning, they're probably in the wrong crowd.
Okay.
They're probably in the wrong career. As soon as they find the place where their intelligence shows up, then they begin to shine.
Okay. They can now change from non-intelligent, lazy, to intelligent, active. Okay.
And they become the leaders
Okay.
in that area. Then you have the lazy, intelligent ones. These are the ones that are cut for the highest office because they are intelligently lazy.
That would probably explain why. I don't even know where you're going with this, but that would probably explain why you'll find most of the people complain that the higher you are job-wise, the less you do.
Exactly.
All you do is give instructions. But anyway, go ahead.
And the reason, I know the question now in many people's mind is, am I here to try and convince people that intelligence is a virtue? But we need to understand that intelligence is actually a part of the human DNA. You and I are by nature lazy. If we're given a task, we will seek the easiest and fastest way to get it done so we can sit back and enjoy some leisure time.
Correct.
We don't want to be plodding all the time. Get it done quickly, sit back and have some leisure time. If we're given a choice between a hard and an easy way, what you should think we'll choose?
You'll probably choose the easy way.
The easy way.
Yeah.
So we are wired to be lazy.
Okay.
Laziness is not only a part of our DNA, but it also is a catalyst for human development. Because of laziness, we invented the airplane, the washing machine, and the smartphone. And we continue to invent and to innovate so that things can become easier, faster, and cheaper.
Okay. So laziness here is not per se just sitting back and doing nothing, but it is trying to look for a faster, more efficient way of doing things.
More effective and more efficient way of doing things.
Okay.
So those are the 4 groups of people. So when you look at those 4 groups of people, you can actually place yourself wherever you want. You can be wherever you are by choice.
Okay. Again, just to mention that the intelligence here is not per se your academic grades. It is just the fact that maybe the intelligent are in an environment where they are naturally endowed and able to do things, whereas the non-intelligent are in an area maybe that is not quite cut out for them.
Exactly. I remember I recently watched a YouTube clip of a gentleman that has built a business that straddles the entire world, and he very proudly says he has never passed a grade in school. But he's an Australian, speaks very good English, has very clear lines of thought, and he says he has never had the disadvantage of going to university. So intelligence here is really about making the finer distinctions. It's not about academic grades. You may not have gone to school, but in a certain area, you're able to very quickly make the finer distinctions, to figure it out quickly, and even introduce an improvement in the process, in the procedure, in the delivery, in the presentation, and that makes you intelligent in that area.
So I'm guessing for me to, before we even get to developing my career and going up the ladder of my career, I need to first of all identify which category I belong to. And find out, am I intelligent or am I not intelligent? And here again, we're talking about, am I able to grasp the concepts easily?
Exactly.
How does one go about that?
The way you go about that is observe the way you're interacting with people, follow your heart, your feelings. Do you like the people that you work with? Do you like that kind of work? Does it make you want to get up in the morning and go and do it? Once that is in place, then you find that you probably will never have to work a single day in your life. Work becomes your play. So it's about finding something that you are in tune with and something that you enjoy, and you generally enjoy the people that you work with.
Now, our education system is such that it does not always help us identify some of these areas. Are there ways that one can find for themselves? Because really, we are pushed by our education system to fit into certain careers because of the subjects that we do and the structure of the education system.
Yes, you're right. One of the demerits, and we hope that with time, the people in charge will review the education system. But from its origin and until now, it's designed to produce workers who will follow instructions, who are not creative and do not innovate easily. But the way to discover your passion is first, maybe find a mentor. You will find people that do work that is attractive to you, and they are successful. So identify them, approach them, and find out, how can I start in this career? What do I need in order to succeed? And you'll get to find you probably have some of those qualities. And if this mentor can hold your hand, which is the job of a mentor, then you'll be able to grow slowly into becoming what you desire to become. So it's basically to find a mentor, somebody that has succeeded in that area.
Okay. Now, one of the challenges somebody might say is the fact that I find myself in a career maybe by default. And by default, I mean possibly it's not something I really desire. I don't really enjoy doing it, but it's what I found and I needed to pay the bills. Over time, I now, professionalize and become good at what I'm doing. I don't necessarily enjoy it. How does one go about now changing from that environment to what you actually enjoy, given that I still need to bridge that gap? I'll still need to pay bills. I have rent to pay. There's all these expenses. I need to live.
So I guess the thing is to find a safe way to bridge. If you're talking of somebody that is probably an employee and should be in entrepreneurship, running a business, it's possibly to start part-time. Look for something that you can start part-time during the weekends, during the evenings, and your free time, so that you slowly develop that, and then you can safely transcend.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I've found that I'm intelligent and I'm in an area where I grasp the concepts. How do I move from where I am to the next stage?
The thing is now to master